The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday week podcast. Yes, Dan has taken a break again and he's not gone to Turkey this time. He's gone to Germany on the lash. So it's me, Ash. I am taking over the hosting duties for your delight. I think should we go with that? Delight.
It's not going to be a delight for your listening pleasure.
Listening pleasure. Thank you, Stevie. So tonight I'm joined by Simon, Ben, and Stevie to talk all things Sheffield Wednesday. So where should we start? I think it will be the walkover of MK Dons. So what do you think, guys? Ben, what do you think, MK Dons?
I don't think we were that bad in first half. I think you two said it, Ash, Stevie. I think you, for once, agreed on that one. And yeah, we were sloppy here and there, and obviously the second goal, especially, is a tragic defensive error from a mix of Iorfa and Reece James. But yeah, I think generally, we were all right. He put me off my flow now. So for anyone who hasn't got this video, Steve is pointing down at us sponsors, and we're sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management and Manscaped. Grab 20% off your next order with code PWW20. Right, we'll carry on. We're going to get in at some point, so we might as well go straight in. Yeah, I thought we were all right. I just thought we were a bit sloppy and just a bit off it in the first half. The first goal, you can do a little about. I thought initially at the time, I thought, yeah, we've stood off him a bit there. But to be honest, we haven't that much. Looking back at the replay of it, it's just one of them. I think he's got Wynn behind him. I think Wynn's caught hold of it and he's just caught it perfectly. And there's no stopping it. Second goal, like I say, is just a defensive howler from Iorfa initially to not deal with the header, and then Reece James don't cover himself in glory either. But for the first goal, it's all Reece James. And I thought he had another brilliant game. It's good to see him back. So I think his class, especially on that left side of the back three. I think, for me, was done all right where he's been in there, but he's not quite got that ability to pick that pass. I don't think that Reece James can and get forward on the overlap around Marvin Johnson like Reece James can. I think that's why that sort of position suits him so well. So yeah, second half, I think they got what they deserved from trying to run clock down from about 25 minutes onwards. And yeah, we took over, and then there were no doubt.
Yeah, can't argue any of that, can you? I mean, Simon, the first goal and the manner of it was, for me, out of the blue.
What, their first goal or ours?
Their first goal. No, their first
goal. Yeah. I thought Dom. I was like Ben at first when I first saw it. I thought, he should have been closed down quicker. He hit it sweetly. It was a great goal. And looking back on it, there wasn't a lot we could do. I think we came out of the traps a little bit slow. What Saturday has taught me is two things. Firstly, that our manager is 100% the right manager for the job. The fact that he could quite easily at half time have taken off Iorfa and brought Flint on. Could quite easily have done that, but he didn't, because I think that would have broken Dominic Iorfa in regards to his spirit, and he kept him in there. And also as well, I think what it's also teaching me is to not doubt Wednesday anymore. I think after several seasons of poor performances and losing games and not being able to come back from 2-1 down, this season's a completely different gravy. That we've now got a team that even at 2-1 down, you cannot think we're not going to get this back. I mean, to score the equaliser but then score another 3 goals after that. And it was just superb.
Just on that, Simon. I mean, for what anyone can get on the internet at half time, the Twitter meltdown that was occurring on the SWFC hashtag was embarrassing, and I never felt that. I looked at the game, and they scored 2 cracking goals, no thing, but I did not think at 1 minute, and you know how grumpy and negative I am, that we were going to lose that game. I really didn't.
I think the thing is that we've got now. The trouble is that Dominic Iorfi has not had the best of all seasons, and I will still think that he is one of the weaker of the centre backs that we've got. I don't think he is one to play into the Championship, but at the end of the day, maybe because Flint had come straight in and done so well, Dom could be quite easily have become the scapegoat for those first 2 goals, of which I think he did at half time on the Twitterage, etc. But what we've also got to realise now is that team isn't the fragile team that was maybe last year and the year before. The going 2-1 down, there's plenty of goals in this side still, and the team can. Milton Keynes had been built up before the game, haven't they? There was a lot of press on the fact that they've got to put performances in, and they've actually been playing quite well. But then when you actually look at the number of goals conceded, it's something like, was it 10 in 2 games, effectively?
It is now, yeah.
And they did actually play, I thought, in spades, some good football until they started to sit back. And then that just allowed us to play our game. And once we got the equaliser with the penalty, there was only one winner in that game, and that was us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course. Stevie, first half, what were your thoughts on that? I mean, it could have gone better, but obviously what the guys have said, you agree?
Of
course you don't, because you don't agree with anything.
That's not true. I've agreed with you. I've agreed with you for the last 4 or 5 days. I've never known anything like it. It's unreal. No, I'd echo the things that were said about the sentiments around Iorfa, and it was James that came back in, wasn't it? And the first goal's gone in, and everybody's gone, oh my God, why would you change a winning back 3? Why would you change the back 3? They've not conceded goals. Look at this, look at that. He don't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. I think I mentioned last week, from my point of view, my opinion, we aren't going to win the league, or we aren't going to win promotion. We aren't going to get out of it. We aren't going to finish the season strongly without involving all the players. And when I say all the players, I mean, we can't just pick the same 11 week in, week out. And I have strong opinions to the fact that I think Darren Moore's looked at Saturday and gone, this is a game for these players, because whether it be the lads that they've played up top are a little bit pacier, and we do respect to Flynn. He's been absolutely outstanding. I don't fancy him in a foot race against Dominic Iorfa. Whatever you think of Iorfa, he's quicker. So as he put him in and gone, right, we're going to look at that. He can do whatever he wants in terms of Reece James, absolute revelation. So who's going to complain about putting him in? I don't think anybody would. The first goal.
Sorry, Stevie. I thought it was a good game to put Reece James back in after his injury.
Yeah, absolutely. But that goes.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say that goes to the point that I was saying he's picked his games, and it wouldn't surprise me if he'd looked at it last Saturday and gone, I could potentially play you on Tuesday night, but for whatever reason, I'm going to leave you Tuesday, because he did get him stripped on Tuesday at 2-0, I think it was. He brought one of the subs on, and I've looked down and James was stripped. He had his shirt on. He was ready to come on Tuesday night, and then for whatever reason, last minute, he's stopped, and he's put his tracksuit back on, and he's gone, no, we're going to save it, and I'm going to give you a start on Saturday. Whether that was the thinking, I don't know, but that happened. He's picking his games. He's picking his teams around what we've got coming up. What Simon said is absolutely right. You've got to trust him. The guy's doing an unbelievable job at the minute. Rose-tinted glasses because we're doing so well, but ultimately, we've said it before, we've said it again, it's great now in February, but he's got to see it through, Ante, because this upswell of positive feeling that we've got around the club and around Darren Moore will soon disappear if we don't get promoted. And I know I'm jumping way ahead in terms of everything, because we're talking about the game, but you know, that's the reality of where we are, and it's a business game at the moment, isn't it? The first goal that they scored, from my point of view, that's the kind of goal that you'd want Sheffield Wednesday to concede. And if that makes sense, you want somebody to get the ball, run 5-10 yards, and ping it like he's never pung it before. Pung it. That's not even a word.
Pung it.
Pung it.
And there you are, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. The name of the podcast.
You want him to hit it, and it's going to be an absolute worldie that the keeper Dawson had no chance. And I get the bits around Iorfa dropping off, and I get the bits about not being switched on and so forth. And you can argue that one way or another, but that's a hell of a strike, and it's 25 yards out. They're going to go in. If we're going to concede goals, they're the kind of goals that you want to concede, aren't they? Much different to the second goal that we conceded, which again, I think it was more than just Iorfa that was flat-footed. I'm not going to mention Byers this week because I got absolutely ripped for mentioning him last week, but he's headed the ball. He could have had a shout from Liam Palmer. Liam Palmer seems to be holding onto their player rather than coming and taking it. I'd wonder if Palmer could go and win the first header rather than Byers. And then that leaves Iorfa.
I know.
Are you all right, Stevie?
I'm absolutely fine, mate. I'll call it. Yeah, I'm not saying he could. If Liam Palmer's listening, and he said, "Listen," if Liam Palmer's listening, he said, "No, I couldn't have done that." I'm going to be like, "Yeah, fair enough."
Yeah, no. Watching it back, it's not so much a comedy of errors. It was just a situation that occurred.
Sleeping.
Yeah, it wasn't like you say. It's not a goal we want to concede, especially. The second
it makes it look worse. Yeah, the second one, it makes it look worse because Iorfa ends up on his arse, doesn't he? So they almost bang into each other and he goes over and it looks like a bit of a calamity moment. But again, you know, at 2-1 down, everybody's up in arms in and around the on social media, in and around people are moaning and complaining. But reality, we had more of the ball in the first half than we did in the second half. Yeah. You know, we dominated possession. We had more shots on target. We had I never felt that we were in danger of not getting something out of the game. We were just
that's exactly my thoughts.
So
exactly my thoughts.
Sorry, Ash. We're at the first goal. I don't think we conceded the second. I think it rocked us conceding that first one. And like you say, it felt like if we were going to concede, it would be one like that. I don't think that we'd have conceded the second one in isolation. I think it was that sort of little bit of panic that's set in because we don't usually go 1-0 down. We don't usually concede.
Not that quick.
Going back,
and I don't think. Sorry, Simon. I don't think, or obviously I don't know. I'm not the MK Dons manager, but them scoring that early, that quick, probably upset their game plan a little bit. They probably didn't think they were going to score that quick, and I know we equalised pretty swift after that. And then, like I said, they got the second goal, and that was it. Their game was done. They were trying all sorts, and we've seen it hundreds of times. Well, not hundreds. Seen it a lot of times this season now. When we've gone ahead or we're chasing, that's it. They've just locked up shop, trying all the dirty tactics and things, and throwing themselves time wasting. But to go into the halftime break, and it comes out in the media with Darren Moore's chats that no, he didn't lose it. He didn't F and Jeff. He didn't give him a rollicking. He just knew what to say. Probably just a calm word of obviously he saw what they were playing like. That we were going to get back into it. Don't stress. Don't panic. Probably calming thing. So second half starts. Standout before we score is Michael Smith's miss from 6 yards out.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we like Steve was saying, we dominated the last 10, 15 minutes of the first half. They sent to try and shut up shop, and certainly when we came out in the second half, they had all 11 behind the ball, and I was just like, how are we going to break these down? Is this going to be one of these frustrating games like we had last season? Smith's miss, which then led, obviously, we then got the penalty. Obviously,
which was a thing of beauty.
It was because obviously when he went up to take the penalty, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, he's just missed from like 2 yards out, put it over the bar, but he knows how to take a penalty, and Smith he can rifle a penalty away. That miss Because how many strike? Get a striker. How many misses do they have in one game? A lot of staff misses before they score, but him as a striker would have just disappeared into that bin at the back of his head, that miss, and then the penalty, cool as you like, bosh, bang at net, fantastic.
It was a couple of minutes before the penalty. I think it was their number 21, forgive the name, left back, got a foul, or he thought he had a foul, rolled around, feigned injury, got.
I'm sick of it. In football.
Ben, I totally agree, it's another conversation because I know people love Stockdale for doing it and he gets red, but we're going to see both sides, but we're always blue tinted. But he goes off and he's absolutely hammering the fourth official to let him on. Now I'm going to come on, and then obviously the throw comes in, ball bounce, handball. It was a penalty as well.
Absolutely.
And he was just watching him. His reaction was priceless. And obviously he wouldn't let him on until the penalty was took, I believe. I think that was right. So obviously you've lost a player for a charge down or a rebound, which didn't need really, did he?
No.
So Stevie, you was going to say something?
No, it's just I'd say I probably agree with everything that was said there. I'd wonder how much. I know there's lots of, I'll say it now that Littleland's gone, a lot of shithousing that's going on at the minute, and it's very frustrating. There were examples and instances of it in the first half. They're 24 that gave the free kick that Windass put just wide. He'd gone down holding his face in the first half in the area as well. Rolled around, gave it 5 seconds, got nothing, was up, then charged about for 10 seconds, and then when he gave the free kick away, went back to holding his face again. And it's that sort of stuff. They've gone 1-0 up. The goalkeeper's slow timing. Everything becomes. And I know we talk about Stockdale doing it. He doesn't take the piss in the first half.
No, that's what gets me. If you get to the last 10 minutes and you're 1-0 up, 1 goal up. You expect it and you accept it. All right, the goal is. But when it's happening, 25 minutes first half. Come on.
The issue is that Stockdale is the guy who smothers the ball, doesn't he? He gets down, smothers the ball, then he has to adjust his socks and this, that, and the other. There's a difference between that and feigning injury to the point where they're rolling around holding the head, and it's at that point that they trick the referee into saying the trainers have got to come on, and that just rolls it on even more. And the team that shan't be named, who are just slightly north of Blackpool, were superb of it, weren't they? In their 4 games that they played us, Milton Keynes tried suckering the referee into doing the same. I actually thought the referee had a half decent game. The 2 linesmen I thought were very poor. I thought the 2 linesmen were very poor.
It needs something like, just an idea in my opinion. It needs something like, if you're going to go off, you're staying off for 3 minutes, regardless. And then if you're properly injured, then that's giving you 3 or 5 minutes. It's giving you that bit of time to actually just bring yourself out whatever knock you've taken, and you can come back on. If you haven't got a proper injury, don't have physios on and don't go off pitch. Don't bother effing about.
There's the argument with the 60-minute thing where they play a 60-minute game and they stop the ball every time it's dead. I've seen they've done trials of that, and I don't exactly know how it's gone or anything, but for me it's getting part of the game, which it doesn't. I don't want it to be part of the game.
No, it's got worse markedly over this season. Is that in every game? Because I don't watch a lot of other football, or is it just when they're playing us?
I don't think it has got worse. I think maybe 5 years ago, this new term of game management came in, didn't it? And we all started talking about managing the game, and I think that's a wider issue. I think we are susceptible to it now because we're top of the league. If we're mid-table and teams are coming to Hillsborough to grind out 1-1 draws, or to look to get one on the counter, and to be competitive against Sheffield Wednesday in front of 20,000 people, whatever it'll be, I don't think people are going to slow the game down. I think they're going to come in, they're going to go, right, we're in a big stadium, we're going to come and play our football, we're going to go and show you what we're all about. I think the fact that we're top of the league, we're playing the football that we're playing, we're getting the results that we're getting, we're scoring the goals that we're scoring and keeping the clean sheets. People are coming to us and going, shit, I don't want to concede today, or I don't want to be steamrolled. And I made the point that we were talking about, I think Morecambe took a couple of batterings, didn't they, before playing us against Bolton and one of the other teams that were up there. They expect to get a hiding when they come to Sheffield Wednesday. So they are going to settle with this low block, and they are going to come and look to frustrate us and slow the game down and manage it. And that happens in the first half because people don't want to come to Wednesday and get arseholed. And if they come and try and play football and they come and try and be expansive and compete against us, that's going to happen. So it is what it is.
It's a good feeling when someone says that team are expecting to come to Hillsborough for a trouncing. It is, isn't it? That's the feel good factor we've got at the minute. But I mean, we get the equaliser penalty, and then, like I said, for me, it was a training game. To be honest, there was no threat from MK Dons at all. I mean, third goal, Ben. What?
Third goal, Gregory's goal.
Gregory's goal. Oh, well, the sub. So he brings Gregory on. Yeah, obviously brings Gregory on, which went down a treat, I think, with the fans. I mean, he's not had a lot of game time for whatever reason, injuries and selections and things. So
yeah,
he needed that, didn't he? He needed that.
Yeah, he needed the goal. I mean, I can't remember the last goal he did score, but he's had that bit of a drought. He obviously missed the penalty against Fleetwood. Great Fleetwood,
Yeah, I think
it was.
1-1-0.
Yeah, that probably didn't help his confidence, but he offers more than just goals, and we know that. Cracking pair of trousers by Simon.
Oh, look at them, Si.
He's not even that
on YouTube. Ash, when we're done, that needs clipping, mate. Get that clipped.
Yeah.
Why are you taking the piss of my lounge pants?
So everyone, obviously, that's listening on your chosen streaming service, but not on YouTube, Simon has just displayed what can be described as hideous.
Fire?
Hideous.
Fire. They've got minions with hearts on. They were a Valentine's present, mate. I mean, you know, love is still alive in Love is still alive in Northampton, and obviously due to our fantastic sponsors, you know, things are well looked after in that region.
To put us totally off there, we were talking about Gregory and
I mean, if you have missed Valentine's Day, then it's still not too late. You can get your Manscaped products, and you.
Ben, is there a discount code, Ben? Is there a discount code, Ben?
There is, yeah.
And how much do you get off, Ben?
You get 20% off. I think if we click a button, Ash might even be able to play it along the bottom of the screen. In 3, 2, 1.
Look at that.
There you go, everyone.
It's like
that's enough. That's enough of the bollocks of sponsorship crap.
Quite literally.
Yeah. no pun intended.
But yeah, Greg had he had a great game note for that. Builds a bit of confidence for the running, because I think that trio that you can rely on, the Windass, Smith and Gregory, in whatever format, whether you're as we were a goal down and you're just wanting to throw a caution to wind a little bit. You can play Gregory and Smith together for me from start if needs be. I don't think it's a case of one or the other, although, you know, most of the time you are probably going to play one or the other, but they can play together. I don't think they clash too much. And yeah, I think it changed the game really, going with that three up top.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Gregory he does offer a hell of a lot. I know we got the goals last season, but he does offer a hell of a lot more than that. It was good to obviously get a fortuitous fourth, shall we say, from Smith. A bit of yes, sir, at the back with the guy with the hand up. Stevie,
can we talk about whether or not we thought it was a foul in the build-up to the third?
See, at the time I thought it was, but on the replay, I'd say no.
The issue I've got, if you look at the whole game and the games that we have played, that has not been given anywhere else on the pitch. There's been numerous times where Smith has tried to go for a header and he's had two hands in the back. Ipswich, I don't think it was Smith, but they did it a couple of times. So I think for me, no. But because it's in the area, maybe. I know it's not a foul for a penalty, but on the attacking side, I don't think it was a foul, personally. But then again, I thought Greg Byers' goal was rightly disallowed. So I know fuck all.
I asked the question because I agree with you. By the way, I asked the question. I didn't think it was a foul. I think.
Who are you, and what have you done with Stevie Spence?
I don't know. We just seem to be agreeing on everything. Maybe it's because we're top of the league. I don't know.
Maybe.
But no, I'd seen some bits where people were questioning it, and they've clipped the build up, and you're going to get the outrage from, ironically enough, you're going to get the MK Dons ones, but when the Ipswich and the Derby fans and those that are in and around us start jumping on and going, oh, look at this, blah blah blah. It's almost like a warped privilege that we don't get these decisions against us. And a couple of people have said it's a blatant foul, and I didn't think there was anything blatant about it. The fact that we're debating whether it was or it wasn't, and I've mentioned something. I apologise. I can't give credit to the Twitter handle that I was talking to or disagreeing with, but they talked about the fact that you look at the way that the defender gets up and is gesticulating straight away. And from my point of view, he goes down and he doesn't appeal until the goal goes in. He's on the floor, the goal goes in, and then he gets up and starts looking around and puts his arms out like that, because in a game that happens. People will, you're going to put contact on another player. It's a contact sport, and people are going to lean on each other, and people listening now might very well disagree with me. I thought it was physical. I didn't think it was a foul. From my point of view, those sort of decisions over the course of 90 minutes and over the course of a period of time within a season, they balance themselves out. And I think we've had more crap decisions given against us than we've had given for us. And even if it was, again, I don't think it was. I think over the balance of the last 3-4 games, that balances itself out, evens itself out quite nicely.
Yeah, I've got that Twitter handle here, Stevie. It's at Boohoo Tractor Boys. I know that could be.
I think we'll discuss this sort of thing a little further when we talk about the Marvin Johnson issue. After we spoke about that, because
we'll get onto the good and the great of decisions and refereeing and all sorts of things like that. I mean, it was like I've said 3 times now, a training game, and we just went through the motions, and obviously the man at the moment got his goal. So I mean, good header for me. Don't look at me like that.
Liam Palmer didn't score.
Give over. George Myers, come on, man.
Well, that was like a training exercise, because he actually, as he was running into the box, he stuck his arm up in the air and said, "I'll have that on my head," and literally the ball went on his head and he scored it. It was almost like bibs against skins sort of thing. It was really it was just a training goal. But a great finish, and
header
and
down.
That just finished him off, didn't it? That was just the icing on the cake, really. I think we could have had more, but we're not going to moan at 5, are we?
No, definitely not. I mean, it was a great result. Obviously, a shaky start. Stevie, stupid question. Did you agree with the Man of the Match award?
Stupid question. Yeah, I thought it was solid throughout. I thought he was no complaints. I don't think he's put a foot wrong, but he rarely does. The clamour, although Byers is the man of the moment, I think the clamour from the majority of people that I saw was Reece James. I thought James ran him a close second, in my opinion. I've got no arguments with people saying that he played well as well. But if you look at the way that he went forwards in the first half, Liam Palmer, you look at what he did in possession of the ball, the breaks he made into the penalty area in the first half. He's clipped the ball that's hit the bar, hasn't he? That interplay.
It was the last, it was the last.
The
10
interplay
minutes,
between him and Dennis the Denner and going down was ridiculous. And it might be that just that little bit of the 1-2 in, and the fact that he was still so energised in the last 10-15 minutes might have given him the nod over Reece James.
Bear in mind how good he was at getting forward. He was actually playing as a centre back, not as a wing back as well.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing that he brings to the game is, and it's a shame because his wings are slightly clipped in regards to the fact that he's not playing wing back, but he does bring that ability to be able to bring the ball forward, but he can also pass the ball, and he can play a ball, and he can shoot, which puts him on that level of Dom can bring the ball forward, but his passing is nowhere near as good as what Liam's is. And that's what he adds to it. And then what I've noticed is whoever's playing wing back drops into that centre back position to cover him, and that's what happens a lot now. Is that you see it with Reece James as well when he ventures forward. Marvin Johnson will come back and cover, and that what we have now is a whole team mentality. I was going to say, Steve made a comment earlier on about the team as a whole are all going to get chances in playing, and we discussed this quite a while ago. In regards to, I think John brought it up in regards to the size of our squad. It will pay us dividends as the season goes on. And that's what it's doing now. It's paying those dividends because we've got cover. Because the guys who came on, who were brought on to replace, Gregory coming on, I think Backinson came on, didn't he? Hunt, these Dennerin, they're fitting in and they are actually square pegs going in square holes now, and they are all fitting into a system that Moore is wanting to play. And we're not relying as much on Bannon either, which is great. And Bannon is not letting people rely on him as well. Volks is getting involved. Byers is getting involved. Everybody has got a job. And if it needs a Bannon-esque pass, Bannon will get involved. But we're not relying on him like we did last season, where it was just get the ball to Bannon, just get the ball to Bannon. Volks has come Volks has come on. Bannon getting injured was the best thing that could happen to Volks, because it's allowed him to have a run in the side and get his fitness back and get his match fitness back. And that now gives us, with him, Byers, and also Bannon, gives us so many alternatives in that middle of the park that teams cannot cope with it because they are all three different types of players.
Simon. Yeah, Bosh.
Bosh.
Yeah. And a headset drop there.
And what we need to do is drill into our heads now. And what I've done now is the fact is when we get to 90 minutes, let's not get this mentality out of Red that we're going to fuck it up, because we're not. And let's get it out. 2-1 down. The Twitter is social media, and it is only 5, 6, 7, 8 people, but scream the loudest. Immediately thought the wheels had fallen off. We've got to get ourselves in a head that we're a far better team than we were 12 months ago. And by the additions that our managers made to the team, and also not just to the team, but on the coaching side as well. We've obviously got new coaches in as well. And the whole way that team plays is so much different to this time last season. And I don't fear anybody anymore, personally. Don't fear anyone.
Are you all right? Have you had like a bit of afternoon delight?
I've been on holiday, haven't I? I'm a week away in the sun.
Sorry, Stevie, you were going to wholeheartedly agree, weren't you?
No, just a couple of bits. I think the Bannon point is one that's worth mentioning. It's been 2 or 3 games now where he's not seen 90 minutes out, and I think that's interesting in the sense that it sort of endorses everything that's been said. We're no longer going Bannon must play 90 minutes. And I think that's going to give him a longevity throughout the rest of the season, which is really important, because whatever you say about Byers and Volks, he's our captain. He's still our talisman as far as I'm concerned. And I know that other people on the podcast tonight and other people listening will say that other people are now better and more important. I don't think that matters. And I've got no real strong opinions about it. But you have to look after Barry Bannon, because Barry Bannon is an absolute Rolls Royce. It's not a competition between him and Byers. The fact that we've got both of them is really, really important. And the fact that Bannon is giving Byers 7, 8 years or whatever it may be is also testament to the fact that we've got to look after the guy. And that's really important. important. The other point I was going to make has totally gone out of my head now because I'm talking about Bannon, and I forgot what I was going to say.
I'll take over a little bit. Just on that midfield three, I don't think I'm being naive or over-ambitious or unrealistic. It sits comfortably in Championship. You don't need to touch that midfield.
No, agree.
He's gone in, everyone. He's gone in. Ben has gone
when
in.
it's when not if. And
hey, I'm on that bus as well, mate.
And when there's time for that conversation, but when that time does come, that midfield three stays exactly the same. You strengthen around it, but it's good enough for Championship. It's good enough It's good enough to be at least mid-table. I think we're a good side around it.
Yeah, that was kind of linked onto the point I was going to make, actually. We are sitting, and as Simon has said, it was the fans that were talking about how all of a sudden we don't need to worry and we don't need this and we don't worry about that. We've got to keep as a supporting fan base, in my opinion, just to offer a little bit of gravity. We've got to keep our feet on the ground because we are, and we've said this a lot on the podcast in the last few years, we're a very fickle bunch, aren't we? But it'll only take a 0-0 draw at Charlton and then dip in against Peterborough, and all of a sudden Moore's out, he's not got a clue, blah, blah, blah. Whereas, 10 days can make such a significant change and a significant difference in the way that we think and we feel about things. I'm as optimistic as I am, and I share it, and as pro Darren Moore as I have been throughout the process, all the way from last season. I'm still keeping my feet firmly on the ground because I don't think the job's done yet. And until we are, until we are mathematically promoted, that'll be great.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we've got to calm it a bit as well.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Cheers, guys. That's Charlton. So
it's MK Dons.
Well, I'll tell you what. Sorry, you're on about. I'm just so happy for Charlton. I just can't wait for it. That's all. That's why I'm fast forward. But thank you. That was MK Dons. And just for a break, here's our word from our sponsors.
The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
Blair, I've put you on specially. I brought you onto the side to talk about men's grooming, downstairs grooming.
Well, as you know, I'm the biggest men's grooming guy in the biz today, Foot.
Well, of course you are. Of course you are. And I know that you're a big gym guy. I know you're a big runner. And have you ever been out and about and all of a sudden you've got what can be described as a small fire down there?
It's as red as a fire engine down there sometimes, Foot.
Well, I tell you what, that's a good point because right now, the Wednesday week for the next few weeks is going to be brought to you by Manscaped. And we're giving away... Well, we're giving away discounts on the Manscaped 4.0 bundle.
What's it include?
I've got it's the performance package, mate. You've got the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, a Crop Reviver toner, so it brings it back if you need it. Performance boxer briefs if performing is an issue for you, mate.
I'm fully seeded, but
Fully seeded. I enjoy that. Yeah. So and then we've got all the bits that'll keep it off the bathroom floor. We've got it's waterproof. It cuts down the issue that you might get. It helps reduce the likelihood of getting an ingrowing hair as well.
Perfect. And that's coming from a Gillette fan.
In it. So I thought you'd be a fan. So listen, you guys back home, you guys watching and listening right now, you can get a discount on this if you enter the code TWW20 into the checkout at the end, and you can get yourself a 20% discount. That's the Manscaped 4.0 bundle. Get on it. The Wednesday week is also brought to you by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. I bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
Thank you very much for that, guys. And so, second part of the show. Where should we start? Should we start on a bit of, not negativity, but a bit of, I don't know what, it is negative. It is a bit with the news that Marvin Johnson has been charged for his alleged elbow. So, I mean, what do you think? I think we did talk about at the time obviously with the review of the Ipswich match. But I mean, further down the line now, it's a non-story, surely. Surely, come on.
The problem you've got is this follows on from the disallowed goal against Plymouth, doesn't it? Where we were royally screwed, in my opinion, by somebody watching the replay on the screens, which, has anybody noticed now, they don't have. You know, unless it's absolutely nailed on that there's no contentious issue, they don't play the replay anymore. And following the Ipswich game, I remember we watched it in a bar on holiday, and there was no sign of what had happened in regards to who had knocked the guy down to the ground. He gave a penalty, but he didn't card anybody or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, these tweets from Ipswich fans, strangely enough, of footage, somebody videoing it, tagging in the EFL, constantly tagging in the EFL. And there's a number of other, is it League One banter or whatever they call. There's a number of different Twitter feeds that were showing it, and then obviously your Derby fans and anybody and everybody jumped on the bandwagon to bring it up, saying, and it was from one angle. It was from one angle. It was, or if anything, it was two angles, but both in the same sort of. It didn't really prove anything, you know. And now, according to evidence shown, which will be this footage from people's mobile phones, they're charging him with this conduct charge.
Do you all agree, disagree, have no thing about fan footage being used in this? If it is, we can't. It's the old
what other
season, but it's got to be, because there's no other footage. I think the iFollow footage didn't catch anything.
No.
At the time, the assistant couldn't send him off because he didn't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how or why the EFL are going around like this. What's your thoughts, Stevie? You sat there looking a bit.
I think Ben was going to jump in. I'll go quick, and then I'll let Ben offer his. I couldn't be more against using fan footage. I think that opens an absolute can of worms that once it's out there, you get nothing back. You know, we've got enough going on with trying to police VAR at the top level. If we are looking at using that sort of footage at this level, we've got enough money in the game nowadays. Get VAR down, look at those sort of issues there. The fact that he's being charged by footage, which allegedly it's the fan footage that somebody's recording and then sent on, I think is an absolute joke. An absolute joke. And I'm not just saying that because it's against our club. I've got strong opinions as to whether or not it should have been given. I don't believe it should have been given. I don't think he strikes him in the face. He's gone down holding his jaw. He does swing an elbow, but if you look, he swings it one way, then swings it the next. The footage is nicely edited to not show, or it does show the fact that obviously the guy's grabbing hold of him for a period of time before, and he's just trying to wrestle himself free. All right, Johnson's gone like that, but he's gone down like a sack of spuds and made an absolute meal of it. So for me, I don't think it's right to charge him. If I'm honest with you, he's going to get charged. It's going to end up being a 3-gamer, I think. And that's the best that we can hope for, unfortunately. But I think it's setting an absolute dangerous precedent.
Well, that leads into the Smith thing, because the Smith thing, again, people were hashtagging the EFL after the supposable push on the MK Dons player. So immediately people are hashtagging the EFL to try and get the EFL. And again, that was fans' footage.
That's the precedent, isn't it? That's the precedent.
It is.
Because now what you're doing, you're going to do this, and you watch it, it'll happen again, and it'll happen again.
Yeah.
I can't speak for whether or not it's happening in other clubs and other supporting fan bases, but I don't know. And I'm not that kind of person that's going to go, right, what's happening at Bolton, Barnsley, or wherever. I see what's in front of me because I consume what I consume. But the fact that it's happened twice in quick succession, it worries me, because I don't think it's something that should be happening. You know, it is what it is. You know, a decision's been made on the field to charge somebody retrospectively, and I'm fully expecting somebody to turn around now and go, but this is what the law says and they're allowed to do that, and blah, blah, blah. To my knowledge, you can't get fan footage off a mobile phone and go, right, we're going to charge you based on what John Smith in row 16 CF said or saw, 5 days ago. I think that's a nonsense.
I were under illusion that if the on-field, I may be wrong, I must be wrong because otherwise I wouldn't do it. But I thought that if the on-field officials had acted on what they'd seen, i.e., given the penalty and not booked him, I didn't think you could then retrospectively go back. You know, if they completely missed it and not given a foul or anything, they've missed it, but they haven't. They've seen it because they've acted on it and they've given the penalty. That law may change, but you know, I'm not worried I'm not worried in terms of we can do without Marvin Johnson, but that's not the point. And for that, I agree with what's already been said. That it's just odd to me that if they have used fan footage, which we've got no reason to assume that they haven't, because as we say, there's no footage of professional cameras or actually.
It's not like it was on ITV or BBC or anything, like a cup game, is it?
No.
It just seems odd to me that they go back and do that. And yeah, I just think I've got no real strong opinion because I think that we're a strong enough side. But if that happens to a side that's not strong enough and not doing well, battling against relegation, then the way out the best player for 3 games, it's not right. Whoever it happens to.
Yeah, I think if whatever happens, I think if whatever happens, they've set a precedent, like you said, and it'll be every time now something happens in whichever game, whether it's being a penalty decision, red card, offside, or anything, and because everyone knows there's people out there that sit there for 90 minutes recording the game, either if it's selfie or if they turn around for goals or penalties or whatever. So there's going to be, you're going to be having people asking the EFL, oh, can you have a look at this person's Twitter because he's got recording of XYZ doing XYZ. So I don't want it to go that far because I think that's what's going to happen. Because everyone will jump on it and go, this happened in my game, EFL. Can you have a look at which it seems like Ipswich have done or whichever. Yeah. It does to me. Yeah. And then that's like Ben said, the punishment was given, which was a penalty. So that was it. I don't. If you can do that, some of the fouls that people give away and stuff, it's retrospective. They'll be. You're going at it. The appeals and the.
I think
will be going forever.
I think, to be honest with you, Ben's nailed it. Ben's is the mic drop tonight. The whole stuff around him, his perception of what's allowed, the referee's decision, what's been done. It's right. The decision was made. Referees made it. How you go back and then double down on it and go, right, we're going to do this again.
Yeah.
I think that if the referee sends him off there and then, I'm not sure we'd argue because while Wes Burns or whoever it were, he's grappling with him. I don't think Marvin Johnson looks around. I don't think he means to catch him or whatever. He don't look round. He might look like that, but he doesn't look round to see where he is and go, have one of them. It's that, isn't it? It goes like that just to try and get him off him. If he catches him, he catches him. If referee sends him off there and then thinks it's violent conduct, fine. But I just think that it's wrong that they've given a penalty and they've acted on it. So they've seen something, but
this is a player as well who'd fallen over several times beforehand. He'd well, we've already been talking about simulation. He'd already done that several times before that particular time when he went down.
Yeah, well, whatever will be, and I'm sure Sheffield Wednesday will deal with it. Marvin Johnson, Darren Moore will deal with whatever, if any, consequences come of it. So, moving on. So, obviously, we're in great form at the minute, and I know I should know this but we are 19 unbeaten. Is it? If we avoid defeat on Saturday, is that the club record for unbeaten? Thank you for backing up. So, what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, it's a stupid question because obviously we're top of the league, but the way we've gone about it, and no doubt Darren Moore has got no records that he's bothered about in his vision at all. He just wants to play. So it's a good stat to have. It's great in the season, top of the league. So just an overall thought on what your perception of that is. And I'll go with Simon. Go on, go Simon first.
I think I've already discussed it, haven't I, in regards to the team he's put together and the midfield he's put together. We've had our sticky patch before Christmas, the couple of draws, etc. You know, Bannon going out injured has given us a lease of life. Volks came in, obviously, wasn't match fit. He's managed to, you know, every time we've come up with an issue, like the Johnson thing. If he is banned, Moore will find somebody to fit into that position where we won't think I think we'll miss him, but he'll find somebody
It'll be Palmer,
to.
won't it?
Well, it depends who falls back as a centre back. You know, they might move Dom across, but obviously McGuinness left, and we're all, you know, he is somebody who's quite irreplaceable. But he's brought Flint in, who will head through a brick wall. You know, the dropping Stockdale, bringing Dawson in, that's inspired. You know, he's not been afraid to make changes, despite, you know, how many games, like the Plymouth game, coming to the Plymouth game, you know, he made a few changes. We're like, Jesus, it worked. You know, he has picked the right team to play. The only one game where we've not performed was the Barnsley game at home, and maybe Fleetwood away in the cup. Ever since then, we have put a shift in, and we've ground those results out. Recently, we've been scoring a lot of goals, and we're just going about it like a machine. And he's got it right this season. He has really got it right. He's learned from his mistakes. And one of the things I said at the end of last season was, you know, when we're talking about should he stay or should he go, was if he learns from his mistakes from that season, first season in League One, and he learns from those mistakes, then, you know, more he has to stay. And he's learned from those mistakes. You know, those games like the Wimbledon game and stuff like that. He's had, I like to say, the Barnsley game, maybe the Plymouth away where he made the substitutions was a little bit of a mistake there. But other than that, we were a slick-oiled machine, and we're grinding the results out. We haven't lost a game since October the 4th, other than obviously in the cup. October the 4th. That's the last time we lost a game.
Yeah. Some going. Stevie, what's your obviously, like I say, it's a stupid question, but just your thoughts on it. Like I said, Darren Moore.
Yeah, I agree with Simon. I think it's a difficult one to ask my opinion now, because when it was shit, I was still saying give him time and, you know, it'll come good and so forth. I think the run that we're on at the moment it's one of those that it's almost a pinch me sort of thing at the minute, because we've been through that much shit over the last 2-3 years since that first Carlos season, really. Because even though we finished higher the year afterwards, it was never quite right, was it? And then we've dipped for a good 4 or 5 years, and we've had a lot of negativity and a lot of worry off the field. It just feels at the minute like everything is sort of clicking and everything's going right. I look at the players that he's brought in. I look at the staff that he's bringing in. I look at the loans that he's done. I think one of the most incredible things that he's done this season is not actually signing more than one player in January. What a statement that was, by the way. You know, you're looking down, and everybody did it. All the Wednesday fans did it. We were looking at Ipswich doing bits and spending money. Plymouth bringing a player or two in. Derby were bringing players in, and Barnsley were doing bits. We've gone, right, we'll send Myton back. Enough's enough. We'll bring Flint in. And we're going to put 3 lads from the under-21s in the first team squad for the rest of the season, and that's it. We'll set up and we'll go what we've got. I think that's a bold move to make with half the season still to play, and yet nobody's batting an eyelid now, because we've continued that run. We keep going. We've kept more clean sheets, or leveled the clean sheet record, and we're going to beat that. We're on course to achieve a stupid amount of points. We can lose on Saturday and win a game in hand and still be top of the league, which is a great buffer to have. And if you look at the games that Plymouth and who's third, the teams around us, I think it's Plymouth and Ipswich have got some challenging games this weekend. We've got the easier of the games up there, so it's a good opportunity for us, if everything goes right, to put a bit of a buffer in against Plymouth as well. He deserves a lot of credit. I love the stuff that I'm seeing around the club at the minute. I've watched some of the the training days and the match day stuff on YouTube this week, just with a little bit of downtime. The banter that's going on around the place, the clips that they're sharing and showing, I think is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Ben, your thoughts quickly?
I haven't really got anything to add, to be honest. I think just enjoy it, because you go up and it starts again. Always stay down, it starts again. So yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. We might go and lose on Saturday, and we might go and lose 2-0, and then
we'll lose again, mate. We'll lose again, won't we?
Exactly.
So,
it is what it is. But as long as we lose more than no, not that way around.
Oh.
As long as we win, more than we lose between now and end of the season, I think that we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable we're going to lose, and anyone that obviously we want to go on the rest of the season, of course we do, but there is always that niggly in the back of the mind. But exactly like you've said, if we get more points than lose, then obviously we're good as gold. So it's this time of the podcast that I love and everyone knows.
He's been putting it off for 54 minutes.
The reluctant quizmaster.
And I'm going to swear here, and apologies if my family can hear me. How the fuck do I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, everyone, right, so here we go. This is your Sheffield Wednesday quiz for this week. And
is it sponsored by Manscaped?
I am not. No one wants. Look, come on. We're not going to. Go on, then. We're not going to shove it down people's throats. But if they need some help downstairs to keep things in shape and trim, then they know where to go. So just down here. Okay. So here we go. This is, guys, are you ready? Can you name from 1990/91 season Sheffield Wednesday's Player of the Year?
Oh my God.
Granted, Ben, you may be at a slight disadvantage to these old gets.
No, Ben always wins. Ben always wins.
Right. So here we go. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go Simon, then Ben, and then Stevie. So Simon, from 1990/91 onwards, this is going to be a quick one, which is why I picked it.
Lee Bullen.
No, you're out. Nice start. Well done. I told you these quizzes were shit. Thanks for coming, Simon.
You're welcome. Anytime. I'll go put my lounge pants on.
Of all the players you could have picked.
Lee Bullen.
Yeah,
I thought, yeah.
Is he doing well at Ayr? Anyone know? He's just signed Chris Maguire. I've seen. So.
They were on top. They were top of the league, weren't they? Not long ago.
Go on, Ben.
Liam Palmer.
Liam Palmer. Yeah, of course. 13/14 season. Stevie.
Chris Waddle.
Chris Waddle, 92/93. Well done. Ben, back to you.
Mark Beavers.
Ooh.
Mark Beavers. That's a cracking 07/08. Well done, Ben.
You see, that was my first season tickets. I remember.
They are sticking. Mark Beavers was your first. Oh, wow. Go on then, Stevie.
Barry Bannon.
Barry Bannon is not on the list.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Ben wins again.
Hang on. No, Ben
I have got a couple more. I've got
more. I've got more.
Which year do you think?
What? Oh my God.
Which season did you think Barry Bannon won?
I don't know. I just said his name.
All right then. Go on then, Ben, for the win.
Kieran Westwood.
Kieran Westwood, yes. 16/17. Well done, Ben. Well, I told you that was quick.
Is Michael Hector in there?
No, Forestieri will be in there, surely.
Michael Hector is in there, 2018-19. One of the best loan signings we've ever made. Yeah. Go on, Ben. What was the other guess?
Forestieri there, 15-16.
Forestieri, 15-16, yeah. So, for everyone listening...
that would end of my guesses as well, that. So.
How the hell has Barry Bannon never been player at year?
That's bizarre.
Well, obviously not good enough.
Because Ash votes.
Right, so here we go. I'm going to run down. So everyone listening, if you don't want to hear the answers, Just mute it like you do when I'm talking. So, are you ready? From 1991 is Nigel Pearson. 91-92, friend of the show, Phil King. 92-93, Le God, Chris Waddle. 93-94, he has said that Stevie Spence is his best centre-back partner he's ever had. Des, you'll never beat Des Walker. 94-95 is Peter Atherton. 95-96, Mark de Griezer, if that's how you pronounce it. 96-97, Mark Pembridge. 97-98, Paolo Di Canio. 98, I'll just go 98-99, Benito Carbone. 99, Nicholas Angles-Hansen. 2000-2001, Gerald Sibon. 01-02, Del Geary.
What?
02-03, yeah. Alan Quinn.
This is where you see the cliff drop off for the players who are now players of the season.
I apologise to everyone now. 03-04 is Guy Lane, my missus's favourite chocolates, Undumbu and Sungu.
Shut up.
Never.
Definitely not.
He did not get Player of the Year.
03-04, son. I'm telling you. If this reliable website is to be believed. 04-05 is Steve McLean. 05-06, Graham Coughlin. 06-07, Glenn Whelan. 07-08, Mark Beavers. 08-09, Marcus Tudguy. 09-10, apologies everyone, Lee Grant. 10-11, Neil Mellor. Now, weren't he only on loan for like 6 months?
No, he had a year and scored 20.
Did he have a year?
20.
Oh, apologies.
Yeah.
11-12, Jose Semedo. 12-13, Lewis Buxton. 13-14, as we've said, Liam Palmer. 14-15, Westwood. 15-16, Forestieri. 17-18, Adam Reach. 18-19. Telling you, it's respectable, this website. 19-20, Dom Iorfa. And for a bonus point, can anyone tell us last season's player of the season?
Last season.
Jesus Christ, lads.
Gregory. Lee Gregory?
I don't know because I ain't got the answer, but it seems good to me.
And that quiz was brought to you by Blair.
No. So all Blair's fan club on YouTube. Sorry, it wasn't Blair tonight. So, and on that note, if you missed Blair this week, we've let loose, and he's got his own little side podcast. He's done a preview of the Charlton game. Side hustle. He's done a preview of the Charlton game. So go give that a listen for 20 minutes if you've got nothing better to do. So that's the quiz one. So, pardon, sorry, Ben?
Well, Barry Bannon won it last year.
Oh, mate. They are listeners. Go and Google it. Or answers on a postcard, and there may be a prize. No, there's not a prize. Don't say that.
There's only a prize if you use the on Manscaped's website the order code of TWW20, where you get the prize of 20% off.
Simon, Dan is meticulously putting together a proper advert stroke thing for our new sponsors. So we'll just leave Dan to do his thing.
In Germany?
In Germany. No. So, like I say, coming up, Charlton, hang on. So for everybody's thing,
it was the last 2 years.
Barry Bannon. I only had it up to 1920, so apologies. I should have made that clear, shouldn't I, really? See, I told you.
As we said, the quiz sponsored by Blair. You've upset him now. He's gone.
Him off. So, well, I was going to say, give us a prediction, guys, for Charlton, but obviously I'll have it from you and Simon and Ben instead of Steve. If Stevie can go now, so go on, Ben. What do you think?
1-1. 1-1.
1-1. Simon?
2-1 Wednesday.
2-1 Wednesday. I'm going to go. I'm not going to let him back in.
2-1 Wednesday.
Okay. He's here, look.
So,
he's having a hissing fit.
I was laughing that much. Honestly, I was laughing that much. I kicked myself out of the group.
Apologies, everyone listening. But I'm not a big fan of quizzes, so yeah, forgive me. I'll probably not host again, which you'll all be happy about. So.
Definitely.
Stevie,
Can we just say I had a quiz tonight that was the killer quiz, and you went, no, I've got it.
Well, yeah, you can do it next week. It's not like
Save
you
it
never
for next week,
Steve.
I might not be on next week.
Oh,
squad rotation.
Hey, trust in Darren Moore. Charlton, Steve, have you got a prediction?
I think we're going to draw.
Any draw? 1-1, 5-1?
I think it's going to be a scrappy 1-1, and I think. Sorry, obviously, in all seriousness, I think Hector's going to have a part to play. It's one of those games where a story's been written onto it. I know that if you listen to the other part of the pod that Blair did, the jury's still out down there, but I just think it's one of those games where he's going to get himself up and he's going to have a bit of a point to prove, and I think it's going to be a difficult afternoon for our front line. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we carry on. I'll take 1-0.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, I think, but not a good game. But I'll take a 1-0 win. If we come away with a point, we carry on 20 games unbeaten. But like we said earlier, if we lose, I'm not going to lose my head, I don't think. So that's my thing. Any of you guys got any other business? I have just one thing, if that's all right with everybody. Just want to, and as Stevie said it earlier, and I don't know if you'll echo this, I just want to say that obviously on a club front, on everything going well on the pitch, but it seems like things in the media part of the Sheffield Wednesday club have upped the game. I don't know if it's new staff or whatever, but it just seems that the content that they're putting out now, whether it be YouTube videos of training, questions with the players, or just pictures, some of the pictures that they're putting out, some cracking media. I want to big them up, which I think you should do. We no doubt would slate them if they were shit.
It's a mix. It's a mix of things. They brought in a company called Lens Go Visuals that are doing all the video stuff. They're doing the behind the scenes stuff, which is great. The training videos as well. I think picture side of it is Harriet Massey, who's been done the article with Joe Cran, and big Wednesday fan and doing what she loves, which is great, and doing a really good job of it too. So it's worth picking up.
Yeah, definitely. Those you watching on YouTube will know that my little one, she wants to be famous, so she sits on there for the first 10 minutes. But in all seriousness,
whoa! It's Dan Fudge has been doing this 11 years and he's not been famous. She can't come on for 10 minutes. If she does, he's going to spit feathers, man.
She will go to school tomorrow and say, I was on YouTube last night. And she'll be talk at town. Anyway, we sat down sort of 7 o'clock-ish and she wanted to watch the training stuff and she wanted to watch the match day stuff in particular. I think is great. Although she now wants me to pitch up in the car park at 12 o'clock, whatever time it is that they turn up. She wants an autograph book. She wants all of that. I'll be down Kelham somewhere next home game at 12 o'clock, guaranteed. But it's just great to get for people to see that sort of stuff behind the scenes, because at the end of the day, three of us are old and cynical, and one of us probably still has aspirations of being a professional footballer.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant me.
I'm joking. It's just nice. It's a great way to engage. It's a great way to sort of put that out there for that next generation. We've spoken about it in different situations over the last few weeks about giving back to the fans and making the fans feel more part of things. I love that I get to do it with my little and you guys, Ash and Sire, in a similar situation that you get to spend the day with your boys. And it means the world. And when, reality is away from this podcast, we're knackered, aren't we? And we're getting up at stupid o'clock and we're working all hours God sends. We get to do this. We get to have a chat. We catch up. We have 5-10 minutes off air and we spend the week talking to each other. But to be able to do that with your little ones, the club putting out that stuff is what makes the next generation fall in love with it, if that makes sense. And I think that's important. The love watching the Stockdale stuff. His jokes are terrible, but Stockdale's value, absolute banter all day.
That's an interesting thing to take on. Is is Stockdale's involvement since he has been benched, is the fact that he's getting so involved with the training, so involved with, you watch him pitch side during a game, and he's almost one of the coaching staff now, isn't he? Which is brilliant to see. Yeah,
I think it is. I think it's. I don't know what the laws or anything else is going on, but him being on the side is another voice into it. And whether or not you've got a certain number of people that are players and a certain number of people that are coaches, he's getting in, and it's almost like he's managing elements of the game. And he's not just talking to Dawson; he's talking to the defence as well. He's talking to people outfield. If that comes out and he's doing that behind the scenes, and he's part of things, and we can take that on, then that's another master stroke from Moore's point of view, isn't it?
Without a doubt. And the whole thing with, there was photographs of Darren Moore high-fiving the mascots coming off, weren't there, on Saturday, and just generally involved with the supporters, which is fantastic to see. He's not aloof at all. He claps to hi-ho silver lining, and I don't think he does that for media attention. He does that because he gets involved, and he's 100% Wednesday, isn't he?
Yeah. He gets it. He does.
Yeah, he does. He gets it.
That's the thing. He, like I say, it's not for cameras. It's not for the media side. I think he just does genuinely, get it, and that's with the clapping and interaction with the mascots and everything. But yeah, I mean, long may it continue. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks guys for joining me. I'm sure you've had a great time as always. Well, that's it. Dan will be back no doubt next week. Thanks, Stevie. Yeah, I've done a good job. If you weren't seeing big heart emoji hand Gareth Bale thingy to me. Thanks, Stevie.
Only for you, my man.
But thanks for joining us. I hope you have a good week in whatever you're doing, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, guys.
The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.